in which the collection has been made. And claiming of credit, in case if any credit is there, then in such cases that claiming of the credit, whatever may be collected or reflected in the statement filed by the electronic commerce operators, those details supposed to be mentioned in table 6 of GST return 8, and that information is populated with the mentioned area. So in the return, it is already been reflected, that is part C of GSTR 2A of the supplier. Now, coming to the differences between the TDS and TCS, if you take into the account, now under the tax deductor at source, who are the persons who are liable to deduct? So they have specifically mentioned a department or establishment of a central or a state government or a local authority or the government agencies or a notified persons. But in case of TCS, the person who is liable to deduct the tax is the electronics commerce operator. Now coming to the quantum of tax, under the TDS, 2% supposed to be collected. 1% is from CGST and 1% from SGST, or in case of IGST also, if it is taken into the account, that is to be taken. But whereas in the tax collected at source, the notified rate subject to the maximum of 1% of the net value of the taxable supplies. Now coming to the payment of tax, now in both the instances, that is TDS or a TCS, they are supposed to pay on 10th of the following month in which they have taken up the sales into the account. Now, the certificate also supposed to be issued. Certificate need to be issued under TDS within 5 days from the remittance of the amount. And that certificate is not required in case of TCS. Now, filing of a return, this is also filed within 10 days from the end of the month, and no return is required. Only a monthly statement or an annual statement supposed to be filed. Now coming to the credit to the supplier. Now whatever the amount will be credited in the electronic cash ledger in case of TDS, and in case of TCS, the same amount will be credited in electronic cash ledger. So this is what a difference between a TDS and TCS. With this, we have completed the block 2. Let's move on to the block 3, that is relating to the input tax, where we have to set off and claim is to be done. So let us move on to the block 3. Now, input tax set off is the one which we have to take into the account. So, input tax credit set off. Now, input tax credit available under the head IGST, which is being stated in your electronic credit ledger, should be utilized against the IGST payment first, and remaining amount, if any, should be utilized against CGST payment. And the balance amount, if any, you have utilized to make SGST or UT-GST payment. That is, we are setting off this input tax credit under IGST credit. Now, CGST credit also if we have, then first we have to set off CGST payment. Remaining will be IGST, and never ever it will be set off relating to the SGST or Union Territory GST payment. Now, in the next is this SGST credit, if you take into the account, first it is utilized for the settling of SGST payment or if it is a union territory GST also, it should be set off taking the UT, that is union territory GST payment. The remaining anything, if it is left and we are supposed to settle, we can settle for IGST, but we will never use that amount to set off the CGST payment. So these are the three important points to be noted in input tax credit set off. And we are supposed to pass the journal entries relating to this. So whenever we are paying the, when we are taking the settlement of input tax credit, taking the IGST as a base, then output IGST account that are to input IGST account. This is the journal entry supposed to be passed in case of IGST. And CGST, in that case, output CGST account that are to input CGST account and to input IGST account, because whatever the credit relating to the CGST will be set off only taking first as CGST and the remaining balance need to be set off for IGST. This is the similar in case of SGST also. The output of SGST account that are to input SGST account and to input IGST account. So these are the journal entries supposed to be passed relating to the setting of input tax. Already we discussed input tax in the 5th semester. That means on raw materials, whatever may be the tax which is being paid, and we are using the raw material for further processing, then in such a case, if tax is payable for those goods which are already the tax was paid, that can be claimed as a credit. So that's the reason why whenever a claim can be made, that set off can be made in this manner. So this comes under your input tax credit set off. Next, we need to talk about the payment process. So before to discuss about payment process, we have certain features need to be known. One is electronically generated challan from GST common portal in all modes of payment and no use of manually prepared challan. So there is no need for you to manually prepare a challan. Earlier, manually prepared challan was made compulsory. But because as and when the GST is being implemented, the government has made easy electronically need to apply. So even for registration, you want to apply for a registration under GST also, you have to do it taking the electronically based. Even the monthly return need to be submitted. Annual return need to be submitted. Payment of tax. Everything is through online only. So that's the reason why we have a GST common portal, which is made easy for us to whatever the electronically generated challans, forms, etc., which is made easy. Not only for GST, even for income tax returns also, whatever the income tax returns supposed to be filed, we are doing it online only. Previously, probably at the up to 2010, probably we might be filing all the returns manually. But from 2010 onwards, we are filing even income tax online. And it is very easy and self-explanatory. It is easy to operate. So it's the reason why everything is made easy for the people to file the returns and challans. And the next feature relating to the payment of process, they say that the facilitation for the taxpayer by providing hassle-free anytime, anywhere mode of payment of tax. Now 24/7. So we can pay the amount, the tax payment or the return filing, everything can be done online. As and when you are free, you can do that. You need not go only in the working hours, going to the particular office, standing in the line and doing all that things are gone away. Now anything, even the bank transactions, the payment of a tax, the filing of a return, anything if you take into the account, that online has made easy. I think you can apply even the applications also, that is examination fee, tuition fee, all that also you can do it through online. Is it true? Are you doing that? Are you exercising the payment of tuition fee or any other fee? Are you paying through online? Nowadays, even the vegetable vendor is also accepting the online payment like Google Pay, right? So the payment was made easy and everything is in made. So which is a conveyance of making the payment online. It is very, very easy. And a logical tax collection date in electronic format. The format gives you the logical serial number and the date which has been, that is the date on which, I don't know whether you have exercised or not. Any payment for that matter, if you do it through online, immediately you'll get an acknowledgement stating that this is a payment which is made success. They'll give you immediate acknowledgement. That is the system generated acknowledgement is being issued. So as and when you did correctly, you will get the communication stating that your transaction is successful or not. So the online payments are made easy. Now, this is faster remittance of tax revenue to the government also. Now, I come to know that from property tax also, the people could able to get, most of the people are, because 2018 before, we don't know how the people are supposed to pay off. But after 2018 and the pandemic situation, all people are connected with online and most of them are preferably to pay the taxes, payment process should be in the online. And even the government could also able to realize the quick receiving of the amounts. Now, I think even see Google Pay, if you pay the amount through a Google Pay, it is a immediate transfer which has been taken into the account, which is always everyone wants to know that immediate debit or immediate of credit can be known if you've been paying them through online. And the government also can able to check whether whatever the revenue which they are getting is faster or not. That's the reason why under the payment process, they say faster remittance of tax revenue to the government. So property tax, income tax, whatever may be the tax, definitely they'll see to it that it is remitted through online and they can easily know, because online records, everyone, even I can operate my bank account through my mobile. So easily can be able to see, able to know the details. Plus or minus are also immediately known. So all that is made easy. So that's the reason why the online importance has also been increased, even relating to the tax related uses. And they also say paperless transaction. Yes, everyone wants to use only paperless transactions because digitally people are very much interested to know the details. Digitally is known, easy to operate, easy to communicate, easy to know the details where to whom you are doing all such things. Probably there are certain problems are also there. That problems will be minimized provided if you take a certain precautions into the account. But paperless transactions, everyone also prefer to have paperless transactions. This is one, a payment process which is being adopted under the GST Act. Now, speedy accounting and reporting. Now, everyone wants immediate information. They don't want to wait till the people post them into account, report it, etc. See, when you tap your funds and see to it that it will be reached to so and so, the other party also could able to know whether they have received or not. And immediate informations are being known. And now because of artificial intelligence, definitely people wants to see what apps you are operating, taking that as a base. They are taking even the protection of it. So that's the reason why the payment is made easy, accounting is made simple. A speedy accounting can be known, seen by both the parties. Reporting is also done immediately. So this is very, very made easy. Next, electronic reconciliation of all receipts. Now, reconciliation statement. Earlier, when we want to prepare a reconciliation statement, we have to wait up to a certain point. After that, we have to receive the details, and after getting the details, we would like to cross-check and we would have to reconcile. That becomes a very big process. But now electronically, reconciliation has made easy. It is made easy, and you will be able to know whether all receipts, whether it is received or not. It is very simplified procedure for the banks, right? And warehousing of digital challan. Now, digital challans, if you can store it and you can easily communicate. See, anything nowadays, if you want to verify the documents, verify the challan, verify the receipt, or whatever maybe, that can be done as and when you require. You need not see earlier manually the receipts when we get, we will put it at one place, and at the time when we want to know it, probably we may not be able to see those papers. We think that we have placed it at so and so, but we will not get that time. We will get after some time. But digitally, it is not like that. When you switch on to some area, and if you write a receipt, and you can able to get the communication. So digital challans, digital receipts, etc., you need not store anywhere. And as and when you want it, you can see, you can communicate, you can as well prove it as an acknowledgement and evidence. So that which was made easy, the payment process relating to that. Now coming to the refund. Now refund, like let us say, now coming to the refund, now when the payment has been made by the person, automatically they have to see to it that if they have paid any excess amount, that excess amount supposed to be refunded. So excess amount supposed to be refunded. That's the reason why, first of all, they have to take into the account what return supposed to be filed electronically for the claiming of a refund. So excess amount than required, if it is being paid, need to be get in the form of a refund. So electronically, the form GST RFD 01. GST is the GST, goods and service tax. RFD is relating to the refund. RFD give you a communication stating it as a refund. 01 is the form. So through a common portal, you can apply an application in the form GST RFD 01 for the refund of tax. And not only for refund of tax, it can be filed even for interest or a penalty or a fees or any other amount paid by the supplier other than the refund also. He can apply through this form. Now, integrated tax, which is paid on goods which are exported out of India. Now, any claim you are putting for the sake of refund, the balance supposed to be credited to your electronic cash ledger according to section 49, subsection 6, may be made the return in the form of, the form it is given as GST return 3 or a 4 or a 7. So GST 3 return or a 4 or a 7, whatever may be, the amount supposed to be credited to the electronic cash ledger. Now the application which is for refund shall be filed by the supplier of the goods in respect of even the economic special zone unit or special economic zone developer also. Whoever may be, they are also can able to file the refund, and it is authorized operation has to endorse this specialized officer to be admitted in full. when you want to get full amount supposed to be refunded, then in such case, a specialized officer, he has to endorse on that form. In case the supplier of a service along with such evidences regarding receipt of a services, the authorized operations as endorsed by the specified officer to the zone. So when you take for the exports, because exports you can do it in two ways. One is either executing a bond or a letter of understanding, letter of I think we have one is called as a letter of undertaking. The letter of undertaking or a bond, if it has been executed, in that way also the export can be done. Or export is with the payment of duty also, goods which are being exported after you have to claim that as a refund. So in that exports also, under section 27, whatever may be the advance tax which is deposited for the sake of exports, what he has to do is he has to provide what amount deposited and adjusted with the payment by the applicant in case if he is not claiming for refund or whether he may be pay some taxes. So in such cases, whatever already paid in that, they can adjust that amount and the remaining amount can be refunded to the person who is exporting the goods or the supplier of the exports. Now, the documents need to be shown as an evidence also. When you want to show the documents to be shown as an evidence, the reference number of the order is to be stated. The copy of the order, which is provided by the proper officer or the appellate tribunal or a court. So, whatever the evidences which are being provided by those officers, even that also need to be attached along with your refund. Now, in case of the goods, on goods, whatever the duty was paid, you want to take off the refund. In such case, you want to claim for a refund, a statement containing the number and the date of shipping bill. You have to attach this evidence also, a date of shipping bill or a bill of export, or the number and the date of a relevant export invoices. So all these statements need to be attached along with the refund claim. This is in case of goods. Whereas in case of services, any exported services, if you take into the account, then in such a case, you have to attach along with the refund claim, you have to attach the number and the date of invoice, the relevant bank realization certificate, the foreign inward remittance certificate. These are the things which are supposed to be attached along with the form. Now, in case of special economic zone, they say that the date, the number and the date of invoices as per the rule 46. So here the rule has mentioned 46. They have to state that number and the date of invoice, evidence regarding the endorsement specified by a special officer in the sub-rule 1 in case of supply of goods made to special economic zone. And a declaration has not been collected from the special economic zone also. So whether you have collected any declaration or not, if you have collected but may not be required to submit, and if it is collected but as and when it is being asked by the proper officer or and the authorized person, then we are supposed to prove it. So it's a reason why we have to collect all the documents which are required for us to provide as an evidence at the time of getting the refund. Now, in case of deemed export, now there are situations where it is not truly export has been taken place, but assumed to be the export that is being stated under like what kind of input tax credit can be claimed. The input tax credit you can claim under section 54 subsection 3. And he also says A statement of details of transactions considered as an intra-state supply, but which is subsequently held to be in interstate supply. So a statement of details about the transactions also need to be submitted, and excess payment of tax, like any tax which is payable by that person, about over and above that, need to be stated there. So that is also important in case of deemed exports. Now under section 54, subsection 8, clause A, B, C, D and F mentions about any refund when you are claiming which does not exceed 2,50,000. I'm sorry, 2 lakhs. It does not exceed 2 lakhs. That means the refund amount should not be over and above 2 lakhs. In such a case, you can put a claim under section 54, subsection 8, clause A, B, C, D and F. And that claim you will be putting in the form of GST RFD 01 issued certificate by a chartered accountant. And like let us say your refund claim is over and above 2 lakhs. In such cases, that means it is exceeding 2 lakhs. You have to get a certificate issued by either a chartered accountant or a cost accountant. And it should be attached to the form GST refund 01. So that this can be filed so that you can able to claim for refund which is exceeding 2 lakhs. And when we want to calculate how a refund amount is supposed to be calculated, in such a case, the refund amount can be calculated taking your refund, your turnover of zero rated supply of goods, turnover of zero rated supply of goods plus turnover of zero rated supply of services. That means zero rated of goods and services turnover you have to take into the net input tax credit divided by the adjusted total turnover. This is a formula which we apply for the determination of refund amount. So this is how a refund can be claimed, or you can put up an application for the sake of refund. Now coming to the next is the acknowledgement. So once you have applied for refund, it see to it that you have to claim for refund. So we have to see to it that we should get an acknowledgement. Now, here to get an acknowledgement, usually the proper officer will grant the acknowledgement within 15 days of filing of an application under Rule 89, Sub-Rule 2, 3 and 4. So here what happens is, first we are putting up a claim, a refund application in the common portal, the GST common portal electronically. And whatever that is in the form, we will be receiving the acknowledgement in the form GST RFD 02. This is possible only when the proper officer is satisfied that whatever the claim for the refund happens to be the correct one, then he will grant for acknowledgement within 15 days. Like let us say he is not satisfied and there is some deficiencies in that. Then proper officer will check everything and he will communicate the deficiencies to the applicant and asking him to file a fresh refund application after rectification of such deficiencies. So whatever may be the deficiencies are there in the application, then he will point out those deficiencies and ask for the rectification of it. Once the rectification has been made, and he will communicate the person to file again for the refund. This is the proper officer will communicate. So that's the reason why once the proper officer has communicated and satisfied with all, like whatever the deficiencies highlighted, those deficiencies were rectified and you have been submitted in the form GST RFD 03 under the state goods or the services tax rules, then he will satisfies, then he has not communicated anything after filing, it assumed to be acceptable, and within 15 days he will grant to you the acknowledgement. Next. Next, coming to the grant of provisional refund. Now, the provisional refund which need to be granted during any period of 5 years immediately preceding the tax period. Now, this is a tax period, like 2022 and 23 is the tax period. Then this refund I can able to claim within a period of 5 years. So provisional refund, provisional means in advance also refund can be claimed during any period of 5 years. Okay. And the claim amount should not exceed rupees 2,50,000. It should be less than that, then I can claim for it. If it is more than 2,50,000, then they may not accept under this section. Now here also, once again, the proper officer will make an order in form GST refund 04 for sanctioning the amount of refund due to the said applicant on a provisional basis. See, whatever the application which you have put up or the claim which you have put up, if the proper officer think that it is satisfied or satisfactorily correct statement has been filed, in such case, he will issue GST RFD 04 and he'll sanction the amount as in the form of a refund on provisional basis. And within a period of not exceeding 7 days from the date of acknowledgement. So as and when you receive the acknowledgement, within a period of 7 days, he will send you that means he will accept and he will see to it that the amount will be sanctioned for the provisional basis of refund. And he will issue a payment advice in the form of GST RFD 05 for the amount sanctioned. So he will give you a payment advice in the form. The form has been stated as GST RFD 05 for the amount which is sanctioned. So this is the points which we have to remember under the grant of provisional refund. The next we have to take into the account about the order sanctioning refund. So what is the procedure to be followed for order sanctioning refund? Okay. So now coming to the order sanctioning refund, it is 6, no, it should be yeah. It is the order sanctioning refund. Now here, once the proper officer is satisfied about the claim and sanctioned. Then the refund under section 54 subsection 5 is due and payable to the applicant shall make an order in the form of GST refund 06. Here the proper officer is supposed to be satisfied, then only he will issue an order in the form GST RFD 06. Now coming to the part A of the form GST RFD 07 is relating to the amount which need to be adjusted against any outstanding demand under the Act. In any case, the supplier is supposed to pay off the outstanding amount that will be adjusted by issuing this form GST RFD 07. And the part B of the same form GST RFD 07 informing the applicant by a proper officer or a commission to withheld of such refund. So any refund he wants to withheld by stating the reason. He will state the reason why he wants to withhold the amount. And he also states that withholding the amount, the refund which is not admissible to the applicant by the proper officer. He shall issue a notice in the form of GST RFD 08 to the applicant requiring him to furnish a reply in the form GST RFD 09. So he will issue a form 09 to the applicant within a period of 15 days from the receipt of such notice. The applicant is supposed to state the reasons why the refund should be granted to him. So he has to state the reasons why it is to be granted. Now, usually any such issues, first of all, they'll issue a notice to the concerned party and see to it that the concerned party should able to state the reason why he should be given a chance. That means this kind of a treatment, we always call it as an opportunity of being heard. So a no refund application will be rejected unless a chance which is not given to an applicant to put forth his side of argument, stating that what is the reason behind why the amount should be withheld or why it should not be withheld and why the amount should be sanctioned. So that's the reason why opportunity of being heard. That means we are giving a chance to the other party to state the reason. See, a candidate, like let me say an example, like in a class, when a teacher is taking a class, a student comes late to the class. Then teacher automatically asks why you are late to the class. Then the other party says maybe a traffic jam, maybe because of some other reasons, he could not be on time. That is how an opportunity of being heard has been given. That means because the person has came late, you cannot punish them immediately. You should ask what is the reason behind. So when you are asking a reason behind, and if you think that the person is giving you a genuine reason for it, then you can satisfy with that answer and you can allow him to sit in the class. If you are not satisfied with the answer, then you can say, you can give a punishment to him. See, I have asked you, I have given you a chance and you have not utilized it in properly. So that is the reason why I'm punishing you. This is how a treatment will be made. So such a kind of a situation which has been taken up, that is called as opportunity of being heard. So no refund application shall be rejected without giving the applicant a chance to express from his side. Okay, this is why, because the order of sanctioning refund is taken into the account. The next what we have to discuss is about the credit of the amount rejected refund claim. So now, like let us say, you have not satisfied with the reason stated by the applicant. In such a case, we want to reject the refund claim. When we want to reject the refund claim, because we have given enough time to express his reason, Even then, the other party could not able to give us a genuine answer or genuine reason. In such cases, a refund can be rejected. So the refund can be rejected under Rule 92. Under Rule 92, it can be rejected, and the form which is used for the rejection of the refund claim is GST PMT 03. And under Rule of 89 Sub Rule 3, any deficiencies also, where any deficiencies have been to be communicated, which is to be stated under Rule 90 Sub Rule 3, under Rule 89 Sub Rule 3, shall be recredited to the electronic credit ledger. So if it is deficiencies which are communicated, then accordingly amount can be credited to the electronic credit ledger. And in case if they have decided to reject, then they will do it under Rule 92, and they will issue a form PMT, GST PMT 03. So these are the two situations which can be taken under considerations for the rejection of refund claim. Then coming to the refund of tax to certain persons. So there are certain persons under which the refund can be considered. There are, one is the form GST RFD 10, once in every quarter. So once in every quarter under section 55, which is being taken, which is being considered. And the acknowledgement form GST RFD 02, he has to mention relating to his TIN number. That is, when he's registered, a registered number which has been allotted, that registered number need to be stated, or a unified identification number, UIN. Even UIN is supposed to be indicated in such case of refund of tax to certain persons. And in case of a refund of IGST paid on goods exported out of India, so whatever may be the goods which are exported out of India and they are supposed to pay IGST, in which they want to claim for a refund. So here what the exporter has to do is he has to attach or a file shipping bill which he has sent for the sake of export. That he has to take into the account and he has to file along with the refund claim. And the refund claim supposed to be mentioned in refund claim will be mentioned stating that he has paid tax, IGST tax on goods which are exported out of India. So this is what you are supposed to do it relating to the refund. The next, coming to the next is, what is the next supposed to be taken into the account? I think this is the Consumer Welfare Fund. So the Consumer Welfare Fund, we have to take what actually the Consumer Welfare Fund, why it is created, and who will be doing this. Now, let me tell you, the tax or the duty which is paid under the GST Act, see, the consumer is not paying directly to the government. And in case if any refund is to be given, that refund is supposed to go to the ultimate consumer from whom we have collected. We are not supposed to collect, but we have collected and we have paid to the government, but it is to be taken back as a refund. And in mediator, the person who is supplier, who is paying on our behalf, if he can claim a refund, he has to give a proof to the authorities stating that he can be remit this refund to the persons from whom he has collected. Then only that refund can be given to that supplier. Whereas if there is a doubt that this benefit will not pass on to the customer from whom it has been collected, in such cases, that excess amount or a refund amount which will be transferred to a fund called Consumer Welfare Fund. That means, see, we know very well that the dealer may be receiving or the supplier may be receiving this refund. But if is not able to pass on to the the customer from whom he has collected. In such cases, what happens? It becomes a profit for him. So a middleman's profit, and he may be creating a profit between the two parties. That is government who has to receive the tax, the consumer who has paid the tax. Between them, he is a mediator. And if he is getting that refund where he is not paying from his pocket, in such cases, that benefit should not be given to the dealer or the supplier, because he is not able to pass on this benefit to the ultimate consumer from whom he has collected. That is the reason why a fund is being created. The created fund is called as a consumer welfare fund, and the government will transfer such funds, refunds, to that particular fund, so that in future, any benefit supposed to be done or any welfare need to be done for the consumers, this fund can be utilized for them purposes. That's the reason why the consumer welfare fund is being created. So the amount have been credited to this fund in order or directed to be paid any claimant by the proper officer, appellate authority or the court or the same shall be from the fund. And accounts of this fund maintained by the central government shall be subject to the Controller and Auditor General of India. So those people will be auditing, seeing to whether the amount was being spent only for the consumer welfare purposes. Government shall, by an order, constitute a standing committee with a chairman, a vice chairman, a member, a secretary, and such other members as it may deem fit, and the committee shall make recommendations for proper utilization of this money which is credited to the fund for the welfare of the consumers. So here, the committee members, who are the committee members? The committee members will meet as and when it is necessary. Generally 4 times in a year they will meet. So here, who is the chairman and vice chairman? In case the chairman and vice chairman has been absent for the committee which deemed to be fit, then in such case, here the chairman will preside over the meeting, and vice chair, in case chairman is absent, the vice chairman will be presiding over the meeting, and the meeting of the committee shall be called after giving at least 10 days notice in writing to every member. So they'll conduct the meeting like this, and they'll see to it that the measures will be done and sent to the concerned party. So this is how a consumer welfare fund is being created and taken into the account. So the next we will discuss relating to the returns. The returns which are supposed to be filed under GST. So GST, I think we have seen certain returns, and now we are supposed to see the other returns like return 5, return 6, 7, 8, and 10. Right? So let us see each return into the account. This is not the one. The other one. This is GST 7. GST 5 we have to take into the account. Yeah. This is the GST 5 supposed to be filed. So who has to file GST 5 and what are the contents supposed to be taken into the account? Here they say the GST return 5 supposed to be filed by a non-resident supplier or a taxable person. Non-resident, like Reliance you take. Reliance is concentrated in Maharashtra. So if Reliance we have in Telangana, then in Telangana, if they want to register, so automatically they'll become a non-resident in this particular state. Or like let us say now Amazon, the Amazon has started in where? May not be in India. It has started elsewhere and now the branches were opened in India also. So in such a case, the people who are operating from other countries, they will treat it as a non-resident persons. So for them, they are supposed to file a GST return 5. Okay. And they are taxable person and they have to fill the form. And filling the form, they have to see to it what are the contents. See, the contents of GST form where they have to mention when they have registered under the GST Act, they have to mention the registered number. They have to state the name of the taxpayer. They have to state inputs of the capital goods which received from overseas. That means from the other countries, whatever they are receiving, that they have to state. Then they also need to, in case any amendment is to be done, that is changes are to be furnished in the return, they have to do that. The bill of entry, both original and revised details of bill of entry supposed to be attached. Rate of IGST, taxable value, amount of GST, NSAS, amount of ITC, that is input tax credit available, differential amount of input tax credit, if excess which is reversed or vice versa, whatever may be need to be stated, taxable outward supply made to be a registered person, and in case of interstate supplies by unregistered person, or a debit note or a credit note, and the whatever may be the amount which is less than 2.5 lakhs, all these details supposed to be stated in GST 5. And which is like let us say within the time limit, if it is not submitted, they are supposed to pay a penalty. That penalty is 50 rupees per day and 20 rupees per day in case of nil return. If he is supposed to pay any tax and he could not able to file the return on time, then a penalty of 50 rupees will be charged. And in case he need not pay any tax, but he has to file the return and he could not able to do it within the time limit. In such case, there the fine is 20 rupees per day because the return is a nil return, and the maximum penalty will be up to 5,000 for the late payment. So that's the reason why all this supposed to be mentioned in the GST fine, and it is to be filed to the GST in the common portal, and it is to be communicated. Now this is relating to the GST 5. Now GST 6, GST 7. So they have given you a different categories of people. The contents are more or less will be the same, but they are supposed to state the details relating who has to submit, what details are supposed to be submitted. All that need to be stated, and it is to be sent to the concerned party. And nowadays, manually need not be done. It is to be filed electronically only. So, which is very important. So, the rest of the returns and who are the people under which category, what return they are supposed to be filed, all that we will be discussing in the next class. That is on, I think we have on 26th again, 26, 27 and 28, 3 classes we have. So there we will be discussing the GST returns remaining. That is 5th return we have already discussed. The rest of the returns, and we will continue with block 4 and 5, and we'll see to it complete in the other 3 classes. Okay, we will be meeting in the next Friday, girls. Okay. Any doubts you have? Do you have any doubts? I don't know. This is technically.
Ma'am, can we discuss again refund? Can we discuss again about refund on next week?
Refund, you want me to discuss again?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. But it is very easy, very simple, Nana. Only the thing is you have to understand. Nana, you might have heard what I taught you in this class. If you have heard, then once again you go through and identify where you have not able to understand. You identify those points so that we can discuss that. That would be better, no? Because if I am repeating the same chapter, which already discussed, then we may not be able to discuss the other topics, which also very important, that I feel. I don't know. If you want me to repeat, I'll do that. That is not a big issue. Right?
Okay, ma'am.
Let me take your attendance, please. Yeah. Right, Nana, we will meet again in the next Friday. Hope you are following the subject.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Nana, go through what all we discussed till now and then point, you note down the points where you didn't follow, that we will discuss again. Okay?
Ma'am, is attendance is important?
No, we will take, because see, this is the online class, no? Even at our college also, when we are taking the online, then automatically we will take the attendance into the account. It's a regular practice which we are doing. How far it is need to be taken, I don't know. But this is a procedure which we follow usually.
Actually, yesterday I don't have network, so that's why I didn't attend the class.
No, whether, see, if student is free for everything, but teacher is not free. Teacher is restricted. Teacher has certain rules to be followed. Right?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Student is free. Right, Nana? Okay, see you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.